Welcome to Annie, CEO of Jack and Annie's and also of the Jackfruit Company. Thank you, Annie, so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you. I got to tell
Thank
you,
you for having me.
it's a little intimidating doing some Googling down on your LinkedIn profile to see you are a Harvard violinist and all the wonderful global things you've done. Really amazing work that you're doing for the world. So I'm so
Thank you.
excited to have a little insight and a little conversation with you. So why don't you get us started by just telling us a little about your companies, so that everybody understands what it is you do every day?
Happy to, and thanks again for having me. We specialize in jackfruit, which is a naturally meaty plant. And so we're working to make it accessible for consumers, customers across the US. And I think the opportunity is certainly global. It's just a way to help making healthier easier and a way to make eating sustainably delicious. So jackfruit, going back to the beginning, is the highest yielding tree crop in the world and drought resistant, thriving organically. I actually got introduced to jackfruit when I was a pre-medical student in India. I had started a health tech company and was building it there. I got invited to a jackfruit festival my first weekend, and those festivals had been going on in recognition of the fact that it's this amazing natural resource, and what a shame that it wasn't better connected to the marketplace so that more people could enjoy it. So I've been working to make it accessible. I grew up in Rochester, Minnesota, which is the hometown of the Mayo Clinic, and I was planning on becoming a doctor. But when I was in college, I really got inspired talking to my professors, Paul Farmer, Arthur Kleinman, about the systemic ways to try to impact the system. And I wanted to focus on prevention of the point where you're at the clinic and you're already sick, and food and diet are a critical area for intervention.
And that's so timely nowadays. We're hearing that more and more, right? Food is medicine and so different,
Yes.
perhaps, from, how some of us grew up thinking about it. So you have this idea and you love this jackfruit. So how do you start a company around it?
I was 20. So when you're 20 and you don't know how difficult things can be, sometimes that's for the best. Um, I just saw that there was nothing that would prevent this from changing millions of people's lives other than the fact that it would be difficult. And I said, I'm up for the challenge. It's an amazing crop that wasn't available to people. So I thought, first of all, it's a supply chain issue. So how can we just build this supply chain and get this food over to the chefs? I will say that the realization of the layers of challenges also came in waves, which is again for the best, because I thought first we would just have to build the supply chain and someone else could take it from there. And then I realized actually no one had ever heard of jackfruit. So we were going to have to create all the awareness about jackfruit. And in doing so, really like craft the finished, products, foods that would make jackfruit much more accessible to consumers. Because jackfruit has been enjoyed as a meat alternative for hundreds, if not thousands of years in India, but a lot of foods that are very common in India haven't really gotten mainstream traction here. All the different types of curries, right? We have like a very narrow range, and a lot of the flavors are dulled down. And so there is a jackfruit version for so many of these different recipes, but we needed something more than curry to make jackfruit accessible here. So we've done the work of, bringing jackfruit into all of the ways that we here like to enjoy our meats.
You don't pick a small challenge. Not only are you going to start a company, but you're going
No.
to teach everybody what your company's all about. What's your favorite part of leading? Like how many are on your team? How do you how does leading a team maybe differ, or what's your favorite part about being in the leadership role?
I think that one of the most fun things about leading a company like this is making a positive difference every day. And that's something that I see all of my teammates light up about. I think that that's, um, you know, as far as being the leader, I love seeing like my teammates be impressed by what they can accomplish and
Hmm.
how they grow and how much more they can accomplish now than they could a year ago. And, then getting to see them see that in others who they work with as like people who have been here for a while, sort of onboard new team members. I think that there are so many challenges that you have as a smaller company where you just don't have all the resources to do something, whether that's financial or people, just hours in the day. And so I think that um, the counterbalance to that is just getting to see this huge impact that you're having. And I love seeing my teammates light up about that.
I love it. What about mentors? Who, like, you're leading the team, who helps you grow? We're so big on mentorship, advocacy, all of that at Food Service Women's Alliance. Like, who do you rely on? Is it within your family, friends, or peer group? How do you find mentors that help stretch you?
Definitely grateful for the support of friends, for my partner, who is not a Jack, because we have Jack is Jackfruit, not to be confused. Um, Also, my parents, my brother, but I would say mentors have been critically important throughout this entire journey. When I started this, I didn't know anything about the food industry, didn't know anything about how to run a business. Literally, it was like Google and me trying to figure out the answers to how to build a non-existent global supply chain for a crop that no one had ever heard of. So when I first stumbled across, mentor Roger Davidson, who's been in the industry his entire career. It was like meeting the King of the Dead in Lord of the Rings #3, and it's like, how did you just fix everything in 5 seconds? If you understand that reference, like I have told them that's what it was like because he just knew everything about the industry. And, also helped me connect with some of my initial employees, but was really like a starting point for building a network in the industry. I've also had mentors, Oliver Libby, who runs a fellowship program. So I was selected as a resolution fellow, over a decade ago at this point. Similarly, the Global Good Fund, I was selected as a fellow there over a decade ago. And so my mentor, Knox Singleton, and then Oliver Libby, and those two programs have made worlds of difference in my life, multiple times, and helping me to understand how to navigate like the investment landscape, because there's been that entire side of things as well, figuring out building financial models, fundraising, how to build a team, how to be a good manager when you've never even had a manager. I mean, I did have some jobs across the way, but I've also started this in college, so not like long, not like learning all the things that I needed to learn in those jobs about how to be a great manager. So I've needed to rely on mentors for that.
That's wonderful. Where did you get this global inspiration, like that you could literally change the world? That's a pretty big aspiration, especially for someone, as you say, that started this so young. It's so impressive.
Oh, thank you. Definitely in college, just from my professors, I was, studying with people who are impacting World Health Organization policies, things that they were so lofty and far away, it almost didn't compute for me that there were individuals who were making those decisions, writing those policies, changing how, millions and billions of people every year are navigating the healthcare system. So it was, yeah, getting a chance to interact with those types of people in college that helped me to understand actually all of these major systems changes are led by individuals.
I love it. I love the fearlessness. If you were to speak to someone or one of our members who's got this little crazy idea in their head and they think, wow, this would be really great, but they maybe don't have the the energy or the fearlessness to start. Is there any little tidbit that you would give to them to inspire them to make the leap?
I think, you only live once. And
There you
so
go.
there is that, right? I mean, like, will you always live with the regret that you never even tried? Like, what is the harm in trying something, right? And, if you fail, like you tried, and that's something to be proud of. I think that um when you're building something from scratch, it's very intimidating to think about where you want to be, you know, 10,000, 100,000 steps from there. So it's just like, put one foot in front of the other. Let's do those initial steps. And then you sort of get in a habit and a pattern of seeing that, yes, you can do what you set your mind to, and it's actually not that hard.
I love it. Well, Annie, it was so nice chatting with you today. I find you so inspirational, as I'm sure our members will. I'm looking
Thanks.
forward to following your journey, as the rest of the members do. But thank you for taking time as one of the women, as we're doing Women's History Month. We're not looking back, we're looking forward. So we're so excited to see where you go and wish you best of luck. Thanks,
Thank
Annie.
you, Lynn.